practice for more than 15 years. I am also in academia because I do lecture a few times. But currently I am working at the Media Council of Kenya. I am in charge of training and curriculum development. The Media Council of Kenya is the regulator for media content and seeks to uphold the standards of professional practice of journalism.
You have done a wonderful lecture on hate speech today for a room full of Sudanese journalists. And I wanted to begin with a question of what responsibility do Sudanese journalists have to influence the situation in their country in a positive way?
The first thing that any journalist, whether Sudanese or not, is to look at the national interest. And in the situation in Sudan, they need to think of the country first. They must think the information that I am sending out, is it sending a message of cohesion? Is it sending a message of reconciliation? Is it sending a message of peace? Is it sending a message of brotherhood? And I'm not talking about propaganda for peace. I am talking about real coexistence between communities, between groups of people, between those in power and those who are not in power, between the led and those who are leading.
And what responsibility do you see for journalists in a situation where hate speech and incitement are so prevalent at the moment in their current situation?
It's really difficult for a journalist because every other quote will have an element of hate speech. And for the case of Sudan, the journalist has a responsibility to sieve that content, to sieve the messaging, and look out for protection of their audiences against incitement, against labeling, against discrimination. And it's important for them to also maintain a balance in their reporting, verify the facts from just any other information, inflammatory statements, so that the audience receive the correct information, so that the audience also receive information that is useful, that influences their lives in a positive way. Again, it is the responsibility of the journalist to remain vigilant. When speeches are made, when comments are made, they must listen out for hateful statements, for messages that are hidden, for parable type of language that may be sending a coded message, so that they can sift all that out, so that it ends the spread or amplification of hate speech.
Kenyan media has changed a lot in the last 15 years.
It has.
Especially, in the wake of post-election violence and serious problems with hate speech and incitement also in the Kenyan press. What message do you have for your Sudanese colleagues in their present predicament, as someone who has walked that path and seen her profession walk that path towards improvement?
Having walked that path and walking through that path with the journalists in the country, first myself covering the conflicts that have happened in our country, and now helping journalists to navigate that route, I say the first thing is be courageous. Be courageous to uphold professional practice in journalism, and that means ethical journalism. Journalism that does not get swayed or pushed or influenced by hateful comment, inflammatory statements. And so it's important for them to also hold every speaker to account for the words that they utter, for the direction that they are giving their audiences. They need to be held to account in the event that there is incitement, there is marginalizing, there is stereotyping, and whatever it is that their self-interest is being driven, the journalists must hold the speakers to account at all times.